doing something where I felt like I would actually push the whole craft forwards. I could give people something that they would enjoy.
Folks, welcome back. You're joining us in the middle of an elimination series. One game already down. It is a best of three, and we are seeing one of the underdogs that made it all the way to the championship bracket starting to get chewed up just a little bit. We're going to talk about how severe this loss was and try to predict whether or not they'll be able to hang on. We got Cap and we got Tsunami to do just that. And Cap, one of the things that you brought up while we were sitting there relaxed watching the match, you kind of brought up the idea, look, we have a lineup that's meant to scale. It doesn't even need to get to the point where it actually does scale to get an early victory.
Yeah, they managed to take middle lane of Rax by 30 minutes. You're going to see throughout this, the first 20 minutes was pretty heavily contested by Anvorgesa. It felt like it was a pretty back and forth game. But if you look at like the overall game plan, every single time that Anvorgesa was able to win a fight, they had to win like multiple fights to be able to take objectives, especially if the Wraith King either wasn't there or the Wraith King died in the team fight. Then they're pretty much left with no objective hitter, and they just weren't able to take enough map control away from Sirius. And Sirius just also coming in with a lot of times superior team fight because of the fact they have this Warlock. This hero is just so insane. It's like in certain patches, it's like having the Brewmaster off lane. When you hit the R button, it just kind of guarantees you that you've won the fight, and the enemy has to reset and retreat and just kind of cut as many losses as possible.
It's pretty much been the Warlock Miner, to be completely honest. We have seen this hero just used so much. Tsunami, any big plays catching your eye here as we do watch some of the key moments that led us to this victory for Sirius?
I mean, it being the Warlock Miner does, I think, it's a lot of the emphasis on supports. Like, even though Sirius had a lot of scaling capabilities, they didn't need it because their support play was just so exceptional, and they were able to force team fights in like situations like that in the dire jungle. ASD getting a very early BKB after a Yules, which he didn't actually crush mid as heavily as I was expecting. So props to Chris Luck, he held his own with that Monkey King, but overall they were again relying on a Wraith King to carry them to victory, and Anvorgesa have time and time again used that as their secret to success, and it worked against eHome, but it looks like Sirius is already wise to that tactic.
Yeah, not a secret anymore. I think that's one of the big things that we're continually seeing with Anvorgesa at this point is they don't really have any secrets left, but even without having any secrets left, how's their game looking, Cap? Like, are they still putting together the machine that they need to put together? Are they still being able to play well? Or without any shock value, are they not able to get anything moving?
Anvorgesa, for them anyway, like, I feel like their play wasn't terrible this game. They had also a good idea of strategy where if you look at this Warlock, it's a teamfight based hero, but it's a very slow hero in that regard. It has this really long cooldown. So they opted with their opening to pick pretty much the fastest lineup that you could. The Sand King Grimstroke that's just going to go around killing nonstop. They followed that up with a lot of heroes that don't need a whole lot to be able to go out and fight and are low cooldown and just want to be able to constantly fight. But the problem is that Anvorgesa were never able to win too many fights in a row or win them convincingly enough to establish a real net worth lead. If you look at it, they probably never had more than 2,000 net worth lead. And looking at these fights going back and forth at 15 minutes, I was like, well, Sirius is going to win soon, because they needed to have like a 6,000 net worth lead by 15, 20 minutes and be taking active control of the map. The problem is they always would lose control. Even if they got a team fight, they'd take one objective, they'd lose the next one because the rock would be up. They wouldn't actually be able to get aggressive wards down, take the towers, and then play on Sirius's side of the map and hold that ground, which would have denied Sirius a lot of farm.
And part of it is because even though Warlock is a hero with a very high, uptime, downtime differential, Shadow Fiend and Sven did not have that issue, and they itemized this Shadow Fiend and Sven in a way that they would be able to fight in the gaps of the Golem being available. So getting a Scythe of Ice on the Shadow Fiend and the Assault Cuirass on the Sven meant that they could, even if they get a slight advantage, they could be taking Raxus at pre-30 minutes with that item build.
Yeah, the Ults build also means that he's not really afraid of the Monkey King. He can play in certain jungle areas, and the Monkey King can't really jump on him. He also has the 1-2 punch where he's just able to blow up a hero before Stinger's able to come to the rescue.
And a Dispel for Omni Knight's ultimate as well.
Yeah, the support Omni Knight, like, it did pretty much what I expected it to do,
Right.
you know, which was that it stopped the occasional Bat Rider kill and died a lot.
Maybe mitigates a bit of physical damage, but you have as much downtime as Warlock does, pretty much.
Yeah.
So if there was anything that Anvorgesa were doing that was unique this game that they hadn't shown, that was a secret that they hadn't shown, it was the Omni Knight, and I don't think that Sirius are going to be afraid of it moving forward.
I felt like that Bat Rider was particularly strong when they were able to, they pick it up second. It was like the 4th pick in the first phase, right? So they were able to go into the banning phase,
exactly.
take away the only other hero that would be
the
really
Abaddon.
good. Lifestealer, Abaddon, you have the Oracle out. Anvorgesa thought that, oh, well, we do have the answer with this support Omni Knight, but doesn't prove to be the case, nor did it seem they had the answer to the Warlock first pick either.
And ASD just astonishingly huge, hitting that 25 so early on. And 25, Scythe of Vice, it feels so good to play Shadow Fiend in these conditions. 12, 0, and 13 at the end of the game.
Yeah, and I want to talk more about players because when we were headed into this matchup, you guys had a few names. Whisper, who is a player that consistently destroys you in pubs, I believe is what we were talking about a little bit.
Accurate.
That's why I dislike him, yes.
It just obliterates you, just
Yeah,
tears you
yeah,
apart like
just-
soft bread. Yeah, like
He's a good player.
yeah. Okay, well, we talked
I
about
will fully admit that. I will say that over and over again. He's a good player.
Was he the player that you expected to see in this last matchup? Because he was one of the players that you were putting some of the pressure on to
Their
get something
duo
like-
did not perform very well, I would say. They weren't able to get as many kills to happen. They were also the dual lane against what ended up being a tri lane at sometimes, where the Earth Spirit would come in and shore that Sven Warlock lane, which is already kind of a tough lane to be able to eat through anyway because of the Warcry and the heals. So they definitely wasn't. They didn't really get the ground running for Whisper so much. They didn't get into that dominant where he feels like he's stronger than everyone else on the map and is able to just constantly make plays.
I think he needs to be enabled more than he is an enabler for the rest of Anvorgesa. So
sure.
even though K1 had a fairly good game on his Wraith King, you need Whisper to also have a good game, otherwise you're not going to be able to win.
And where we are right now, this could be the last game we see from Anvorgesa after an incredible run. The winner of this going to be going head-to-head with NIP, and that match will determine the second team to go to the major, and it'll get you that ticket to the grand final to actually play for the cash prize as well from this tournament. So stakes are very high here in this best of 3. This could potentially be the last game of the night. It's been a long day of Dota for both of these teams. We've had 4 series today.
I mean, even making it to 3rd place, even if they lose to NIP, the prize money matters the most. This is what the idea of the minor system was to give these tier 2 teams an opportunity to actually get the prize pool. Oftentimes we keep glossing over it because the major slot is the most important thing when we hit the grand finals, but every little dollar amount means the world to these teams that don't have like an exceptional list of sponsors, don't have salaries, stuff like that. They're just playing here for the competitive aspect and hoping that they can come back and enrich their scene when they go back to their region.
It's actually so annoying as just the lack of a storyline in every single tournament I've ever casted in Dota 2 since the beginning of my career is that money was never a thing to talk about, ever. Because who the hell cares about the $100,000 that you've won when there's tens of $1 million on the line at the end of the year? So for some of these other teams, as you're saying, a team like Anvorgesa, which is obviously they're building towards TI, but this like any sort of money here would obviously be a big win, especially considering how much farther that money is going to stretch.
Yeah, I actually thought it was crazy because, you know, first time I got to host Dota was the CQ Major. And,
Yeah.
and I come over here and I was like, we can talk about money once. And I'm looking at these prize pools and, you know, I would cast games. I've had the pleasure to cast a whole bunch of games. And usually I'd cast a whole season and you put all the money together and it's not even enough to buy more than, you can't even buy your yourself and your girlfriend a meal like McDonald's. And
I thought you were going to say buy yourself a girlfriend.
Yeah, that's what I thought you
was like, wow.
said.
Depends on where you're at, Rich.
Either that or you're gonna go like buy a used 2002 Corolla.
Hey, I'm not going to be
this
buying
month's
any
Toyota
cars.
Fine.
I'm going to be selling them. But I do think that it's pretty fantastic how much money really is on the line. And it is easy to gloss over it when you think of TI and you think about just how much money will be available there. It does make the storyline seem a little bit less significant. But when you do compare it to kind of the rest of the scene, the rest of the esports scene, it is by far the biggest drop in the bucket, I would say.
And this TI is like careening over previous TIs. The battle pass has been great. Shout out to Dota Underlords for also boosting the prize pool. It's like 4 million higher than it was last year, which is crazy. And we're just like, you know.
I can always tell every single new host or stage interviewer in Dota, because one of the biggest things, they always make a really big deal. The $200,000 prize pool, and everyone else in Dota's like, 200,000? I don't even wake up for that in the morning.
Is
Come
this
on.
one 200,000?
I have no idea.
I think it's 3, isn't it?
I just came up with a random
it's-
number,
it's,
honestly. See, I don't even know the number for the minor because I know it doesn't matter to the narrative of anybody's story. What a ridiculous concept.
Talking numbers.
Yeah, do you know what the
money.
actual prize pool is? See, I didn't even write it down because I looked at it as
I believe
nothing.
it's 300,000.
$300,000
Rich.
on the line. Right now, these two teams will go head to head to try to get the big bucks and the big pride. Team Sirius going to be locking in their pick right now. They got one win in their back pocket. They are just one game away from a match against NIP, and
They can already see the dollar signs, Rich.
Ding, 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 ding.
I do think too you got to keep in mind with Sirius. Cap, I didn't really get a chance to talk to you about it yesterday because you weren't on the panel until today.
Yes, sir.
A lot of people were saying Sirius was their pick to take down the entire minor. After seeing,
Wait, really?
yeah, Kyle.
After
Nahaz,
seeing the group stage?
this is just groups. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's just groups. So basically, no knowledge from today when their matchups really did get a little bit more difficult and they got
Right.
sent down to the lower portion of the bracket. Yeah, Kyle.
Did anybody have Sirius before the entire tournament?
Maybe it's some
I
dark horse
don't think
business,
so.
but
Yeah,
otherwise
okay.
it was all
Because
e-home
they
and
did
IP.
definitely impress at the group stage, and I would agree with that. I don't know if I would have placed them, because again, their series against NIP said a lot. That in their win against NIP, it was super clean, one of the cleanest, probably the cleanest match that we saw in the group stage. But then they still lost 1-2, and the matches that they lost, they looked a little out of control. So I think that did show a bit of weakness. I thought they were potentially a grand finals team. Oh, which I guess is also a major slot. Keep on forgetting about that.
And maybe some money. I think we briefly talked about money.
$300,000.
I've
$300,000.
actually been casting for like it's probably like 4 years now, and usually it takes me a whole year to cover 300. So it is definitely impressive, and it is fun to get to look at that a little bit. Also, it is fun to see. Is that Disco Pony? There's a little bit of glare
The
on
one and only.
So Anvorgesa going to be pulling out the Leshrac here. We'll have to see what they are going to pair with that. And there's the Warlock.
So scooping a lot out of Sirius's playbook here, taking
Yes.
away the Leshrac.
Is Sirius gonna go for the
Grimstroke,
Grimstroke?
right? Yeah.
No, they go for Lina.
Okay, I mean it's still a good stun combination.
And it has a lot of flex value. It's both good as a 2 position against Leshrac, really good there, but it can also work as a 4 position. This was something that was probably experimented with a decent amount of pubs in a month and a half ago, where people found that a 4 position Lina is actually really abusive in lane
Dude,
because
that's
of their
8
superior range.
Exactly, and then once you get an Aether Lens, you almost have a Blink Dagger's worth of range on your LSA once you
Yeah.
get that cast range talent.
Yeah. Of course, Anvorgesa could also do a similar thing where they can run a 3 or 4 position Leshrac. I feel like 3 is maybe a little bit better. 2 is by far the best position. For
Or
this
if they
hero,
want to
though.
go full Chinese, they can turn it into a 1 position Leshrac.
Oh yeah, that's true.
As we saw, I think it was Neverend on eHome.
Yeah.
Like that.
Now they just need a little bit more catch because they do have this really big team fight, this nice fatal bonds. What they want to make sure is the Leshrac, when he runs in and tries to get his damage, they want to be able to have, I think, something to be able to frontline for that Leshrac, and then also something that makes sure that the fight actually happens and the enemy team isn't just able to retreat. away, because obviously that's a sick combo. Any kind of AoE with Fatal
10
Bonds
seconds
is going to
remaining.
work nicely.
Yeah, any sort of tanky Blink Initiator would be great. Maybe not something...
5
Well,
seconds
I mean, if you
remaining.
go for something like a Tidehunter, you're doubling down on your teamfight
Dire
superiority,
team
but also doubling down on the fact that when your ultimates are on cooldown, you are
Radiant
very, very
team
vulnerable.
back.
But something along those lines, that's something that can jump into the fight, take the focus away from the Leshrac as he just pulse Novas everyone down.
Team Sirius really didn't ban the Grimstroke with the Warlock already in the hands of Anvorgesa, which is kind of interesting. I think as a 4 position, Anvorgesa would want something that is a little bit tankier that can frontline for them.
Right.
But, you know, if you have the opportunity to get the
10
Grimstroke
seconds
Warlock combo
remaining.
and you feel good about it, which they probably did up until they matched Ninjas
5
and Jammas,
seconds remaining.
then, you know, why not?
Instead, Sirius are keeping their sights on K1, taking out his Wraith King, taking out his Sven.
Yeah, he did. One of the things is that impressed me was that he did make the early invasion into the enemy safe lane last
Right.
game and was able to sacrifice a little bit of his farm to be able to make a big play happen. You still went for that Midas Radiance and still needed to be able to pick up a certain amount of farm, but
I mean, you can do that with the CK. The boy loves this Chaos Knight.
yeah, they already have some AoE stuns on the side of Sirius, but I wouldn't be that surprised just because it's another tanky frontliner.
And comfort. It's all about
Comfort, yeah. It's also a hard hero to pressure, which is something like most Sand King dual lanes want to be able to do, is they want to pressure the enemy safe lane. But Chaos Knight is a little hard to beat, and then you've got Warlock behind him.
Yeah, based off the bans of Anvorgesa, it seems like they want to continue taking out any AoE magic damage possibilities. So banning out the Shadow Fiend that ASD was extremely strong on in the previous game, and then banning out an Ember Spirit as well. Especially since you don't have access to the Oracle to deal with the Ember Spirit very easily.
10
So
seconds remaining.
again, it seems like Chris Luck should hopefully have the upper hand in the
5
mid lane.
seconds remaining.
We'll see what hero they give to him. I mean, his TA is also still available.
Also, I've been peeking in the chat to see what everybody is thinking about everything going on here. And I do want to bring up that this is going to be different than other minors you have watched. There are going to be 2 teams. We keep bringing it up. It is very interesting to actually see it happen, but 2 teams from this minor go to the major. So both the teams that get to the grand final will be going. We already locked up one of them in Alliance. NIP is waiting to play against the winner of this matchup in Anvorgesa and Team Sirius to determine that second spot. Now Anvorgesa trying to get maybe a little bit spicy here in their draft, trying to get a little bit of a cute lineup going. If there are any cuties in the chat who are supporting Anvorgesa, let us know with the war cry of the cuties.
Spectre is usually threatened by heroes like Sand King, but Warlock Spectre is a
10
very
seconds
classic duo,
remaining.
dating all the way back to Dota 1 for a reason. It's one of the
5
best 5
seconds
positions
remaining.
to secure the Spectre's lane.
Give me some Nyx Assassin. Nyx looks so good here for Team Sirius. You got a break
Yeah.
for the Spectre, you got Carapace to deal with Leshrac, keep him under control.
Break mechanic against Spectre.
Right,
Did you say that?
I may have.
Well, it's really good.
It's
That's
really
why
good.
we
Well,
need
they're
to say
two
it
spells.
twice.
You know, I may have said Desolate, break the Desolate, and you said break the Dispersion. So,
Yeah,
we got it
yeah.
covered. We got it covered.
Radiant team pick.
We're gonna go with Storm Spirit for ASD. Okay.
That's a nice hero that is always able to track down the Spectre. It pressures the Leshrac really nicely, and Warlock can be really annoying in these fights, but if you have a very strong initiation, you can get to that back line and kill him before he gets off his golem. Well, you've got Sand King, you've got Lina Laguna Blade long range, now a Storm Spirit. Sirius are going to have superior team fight everywhere, and I feel like Anvorgesa at this point really needs to make sure that they can see where Sirius is coming from. I actually wouldn't mind a Nyx Assassin or something like that for them, just because I feel like information in this game is going to be really important, especially if they're not able to come out on top in their laning phase. And I guess we'll see how that goes, because they didn't do terrible for themselves in game 1.
Yeah, maybe try to take a page out of NIP's book. They love their... I mean, Templar Assassin, again, is a hero that provides a lot of vision. With the traps, I don't think they have a history of playing Whisper Nightstalker, but something like that would be pretty great against a Storm Spirit.
Dire team pick.
I'm gonna go with
Templar
Chris Luck's TA.
Assassin.
Does well against a Storm Spirit in the mid lane.
Team
Again, the vision aspect as we mentioned.
Instant Lycan pickup. I was feeling Lycan for Sylar just because at this point you want to pressure the objectives of the Spectre and just take them down, right? And because they've now said, hey, the Celestial's no longer going to be a 2 position, we're going to downgrade him into a 3 or 4, then Lycan just rips those heroes apart. He doesn't care about upheaval. He gets to both of these backliners. They have no single target stun to be able to lay out on him. Means he's going to have a very free game in that regard.
Tsunami, are you also liking the Lycan?
Wow.
Hey.
I'm liking
You know, I
Lycan.
could see you had something. You had a little bit of a grin. You were leaning forward. You said, this
The
is
mustache
host time. This is me time to talk.
curling
I've got
up.
something cute to say. You're the real cutie here, Rich.
That's not true when I'm on a desk with you, bro. I've been waiting to get with you on a desk, my friend. It's been real nice. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm hoping this game goes the distance so we get to hang out just a little bit more, get some extra dotes, bonus round. Question is Team Sirius going to allow that to happen, or are they going to secure their fate ASAP?
I do like the approach to go fast as opposed to try to out-late Anvorgesa. The only thing is that I don't know what Whisper hero you can attack to be the best solution. I think any hero that has a lot of wave clear, any hero that can just face tank like a tower, I think maybe like again the Tidehunter that I mentioned earlier. I don't think it's a very Whisper hero, but something along those lines is what I'm hoping for. Because otherwise, if they have nothing, like right now, none of these heroes are able to easily get Lycan off of a tower. Leshrac can't go in face first, especially if he's a 4 position. Even a 3 position would not be enough. Warlock has no wave clear, doesn't have anything like a Fade Bolt. Spectre can't do it, and TA is just going to get her refraction eaten alive.
Cap, as our desk's Whisper expert, do you think that
Ban out the
Whisper
Tide.
might okay, Tide's going to be banned out, so that question's going to become relatively irrelevant.
He needs a blink stunner.
You wanna
back
get
for
this
Axe again
Lycan
or
cold in his feet?
Team pick.
I feel more like they need a 3 position that starts fights for them. It is super active early on.
Shaker?
They need lockdown really badly. So it's either
Pango?
Axe or Shaker. I think Pango is actually not that good here, especially since you no longer have the silence against most of these heroes. Where the old silence is okay versus Storm, Sand King, Lina. Now you
10
don't have that
seconds
option. He's also kind of crushed by Silencer in that regard.
So is Axe, though, to an extent, because if he jumps in and he manages to get a global off.
Oh, Tiny.
Okay.
I guess the Tiny and Centaur was another blink stunner that was left.
I liked my approach, and I still think that they are heavily lacking wave clear. I think Lycan's just going to munch on these towers.
Yeah, probably, but if they don't have some form of initiation, then they can't actually stop Storm Spirit and Lycan from... like, they're either going to take the towers early, or they're going to outfarm you and eventually find openings, because they have such superior initiation, right? Between Storm Spirit, a blinking Sand King, and this Lina that quickly gets you kills, you're always going to find, like, within 20 minutes, there's going to be 5 or 6 kills where you're going to get some sort of pickoff and transition that into an objective. So for Anvorgesa, you have to be the ones taking the first step.
Which is why I thought the Silencer was such a great last pick for Sirius, because even if you want to force fights, it's all combination. Like, you need to get Fatal Bond, Skull, and then Haunt comes in and something like that. And if any one ultimate shows up, Silencer's more than willing to global for that entire fight and stop the whole thing.
That's true. It was a really cool pick.
All right, well, already we can see a lot of the cards going to be stacked against Anvorgesa. Ooh, woo, what you gonna do? We're gonna throw it down to the casters and find out if they can hang on for one more game.
I don't know where he keeps coming up with this stuff.
Internet memes, they're all over the place, Toby.
Okay.
He's got to open a forum.
I'm sorry. I don't know how to use internet memes.
We know.
Yeah. To the game. Anvorgesa, like the panel wasn't too confident in their draft. The Silencer seems like a really nice pickup against them, but it seemed like they had like at least a better start to their draft. It feels better when they have a Warlock in their field. They got the Templar Assassin and Leshrac, who have been 2 very successful heroes. Tiny done his work, and then Spectre, who's able to actually work with the overwhelming with the Fatal Bonds and everything else. So it looks like they got a nice combination together. But like, why is the panel leaning towards Sirius as like a better draft?
You're asking why so serious?
I tried to stay away from that because I don't use internet memes. I'm a clean boy.
What kind of meme? I don't really understand what you're talking about.
I'm sorry, was that even English? Like, I'm the one getting ripped recently for not being able to speak English correctly.
Well, you are Australian. At least you have an excuse. TA. is
Yes.
actually a pretty good matchup against Lycan because it's a very low armor hero. Starts with 1, doesn't get much if you go for the Necrobook build. The problem is that that's only if you have the luxury of being able to stand there and auto attack. When you're playing against
30
Lycan Storm
seconds to
Silencer, it's quite likely that instead you're going to see Chris Luck just get jumped immediately and ran at. And sure, you've got Golem to counter initiate, but it's a tough ask. And I feel like Anvorgesa needs a lot of time to get their lineup up and running, whereas Sirius, they can strike hard and fast and kill objectives very easily off the back of the Sylar signature Lycan.
It's kind of funny, like when you say that, because normally you look at a Lycan as one of those slower ones, not the faster ones. K1's going to try and battle for the runes. That's a lot of damage into Stinger very early on. He's not even going to get the bounty rune from the top. In July, just wait for that secondary burrow strike, but he's got to wait 4, 3, 2, split, and space created.
They do get the 3 bounties, though. Maybe even 4 if they run up the hill.
Yeah, especially
Guys,
considering Latrak's doing, like, he needs to be there for the body block.
No one got, okay, he's going for it now. I was about to say. Surprised Sand King didn't run up. You can get the notification. You know that it wasn't taken. Perhaps they expected it was being baited. And the mid matchup's going to be critical, I think. The TA has got to get off to a great start here.
Yeah, but she needs a line to actually hit into ASD and not allow him just to walk up the hill. But there's a rotation around the back, so Silence is waiting for the courier. We'll see how long Destiny waits this time around. I think it was Inflame last time, right? But now it's going to be Destiny. Sorry, Firefly, not Inflame. The other part of the yeah, that. He's waiting a long time, so the courier is now making a small... It jiggled. It didn't move.
Hate when that happens. And bottom lane, it's interesting that they're actually going to TP out here. I like what they've done. Sylar actually just did the shoop to whoop and came all the way back towards bottom. He just wants to land against the Spectre. Not much a Spectre can really do against this Lycan, whereas Lesh Tiny, they would certainly outlane him.
The moment for the courier is coming up. Chris is really trying to get in the face of ASD. So the courier is now past Silencer. They need a little bit of extra high ground vision so they see the, okay, courier delivers the item.
Oh.
And now look at, wait, no, it turned around for something else, and no, Destiny is still going to be there.
He saw him.
I don't know
Destiny
if he did.
ran out into the lane. He definitely saw him. He man.
Courier down.
Poor Chris Luck.
And
Oh,
now
he's getting jugged under
ASD
the tower. He's tanking
underneath
hits.
the tower, and I don't know if he's going to get himself out of this one. Top lane can do whatever it's doing, but TA is able to get herself back into sort of safety.
Problem is he doesn't have the courier. And you already have a bottle up on ASD, and he's going to go get that in this room in just a moment. In fact, he's going to man up here. There's no refraction.
Yeah, hit him hard. And, he's another overload ready to go. And actually, TPs are coming in. Actually,
Oh, no.
cancelled.
He what?
I don't know if that was intentional. Was it Lashrak
I think he
coming?
must have misclicked the TP. He was running. He was probably just clicking towards mid and accidentally toggled his TP. Interestingly enough, yeah, okay, I was about to say, Tianming had actually not leveled a skill. Now will finally cast his first Q at 2 minutes 30.
So Stinger wraps around the back. We saw him being a nuisance in game 1 on his Omni Knight. Lashrak is less tanky, less survivable to do such things again. And I'm wondering if this is Anvorgesa actually just really getting some LAN experience now. It's like, you know what? Like, it's down to the crunch. It is down to elimination. We got this far, but how hard can we be tested late at night at the end of the, like, in the playoffs?
And a grueling day as well for them. For both teams, really. Top Whisper's in a lot of trouble, actually, taking a ton of damage. It's the point to, as soon as you're level 3 on Lina, when you go for this fire, oh wow, he got him.
Reach just on maximum range with that Dragon Slave.
He gets so much attack speed, 120. Well, 80 when you had the 2 stacks up, so. Sand King Lina, I mean, it's been a combination since Dota 1.
Yeah.
Since Dota was born, these have been excellent heroes to pick together. And I really like the decision as well to put the Lina on the support role. As soon as you see the TA and the Spectre, it becomes an impossible core Lina game. Much better to just put it on that 4 position where you can go those same items, the Yules, the Aether Lens, but in the event you were to go down first, no big deal.
There's that long range attack and hit. And no save. No save from Lashrak. Chris is just having an absolute nightmare of a game in mid. Storm Spirit just owns this lane.
I mean, it's still even, though. Under the circumstances, I actually think Chris Luck is doing A-okay. Certainly a TA favorite matchup, however.
Yeah. Like, yes, CS-wise, like, he's still fine. It's just it's the threat of impending death when you've got no consumables. The courier is at least back up, and it's flying and bringing a large amount of items towards the mid lane. So TA will finally have something to fight with.
He's got the mangoes up, so we'll be able to continue to accelerate here. We got ancient stacking going on by Stinger. He's going to get both camps, actually. I think he'll get both triples. That's really nice for the TA, and it'll help him significantly.
Got it.
Bang, bang. Best camps to get to. You hate when you have dragons. They slow down TA's ancients significantly.
So Silence seems to be having a good time on bottom lane. It's a very even as far as a trade goes. Like, I always kind of worry about lineups that don't punish a Lycan early on, especially when they're able to get like this solo versus solo level. And Spectre doesn't seem to really be able to deal well with the Wolves. Firefly, Whisper, there's a toss over. Come to Friends, who's got Edict damage. And Firefly, well, the Light Strike Array will be able to connect with the Burrow Strike returns from in July. They'll cop up the rest of that Edict, and Whisper can't finish the job. In fact, oh, okay, yeah, toss him in. No, you can finish the job.
You're gonna have to toss him, he says. And they do find the kill. Bottom, though. They're chasing down Silo. He's got no boots, but a ton of regen. That's why they wanted him down here against the Spectre. 3 from the passive, 6 from the ring. You just can't, you aren't gonna win a regen war against this Lycan. One of the few heroes that still buys HOD as well. We'll not be able to control these runes, however. We'll pick one up now. You have a little bit of trouble on the Spectre. He's got no stick right now.
They're going mid. Light Striker Ray's able to connect. Chris Luck's having a hard time getting up the hill. He's got Defensive Refraction charge, but they burn through it so quickly with the help of Firefly into the trees, and he'll get the kill on the mid.
Firefly is everywhere right now. He's doing so much work. He's already level 4.5 too. It's 5 minutes into the game, Toby. And a large part of that is because he was sitting top, and Silo was doing the lane shenanigans, moving back and forth across the woods.
Oh, has Stinger got this? If he can hit the split earth, no, he doesn't have any more Edict damage.
Because Firefly's here.
He doesn't commit. So they back up, so really want to see if this TA is able to claim the stack sometime soon. So I'm very concerned that Sirius is going to work it out.
It is tough for them to take it themselves, though. One of the reasons TA is so busted at the moment is, in all honesty, farming Ancients is really a thing of the past in the early levels for almost everyone except for Templar Assassin. You will miss the stack. Looks like that was either a trap or the tiny, but only 3 camps rather on the Ancients. He wants 4 or 5 ideally. And they're actually going to clear up the nice triple stack they had.
That's a good rune for a Storm. Arcane rune heading down to the bottom lane.
Love it.
Best target is going to be straight for the Spectre, who's K1's very much alone. So the ball lightning forward, Vortex him back in again. And Sala will work together. By the time Jericho arrives, he actually shows himself. Remember, this is an Arcane rune, so ASD, he's got a lot of efficiency in him. He's got to keep getting these charges up and running, closing the distance, pull him back in, right on top of the Remnant. He's not enough damage just yet. It's close, and now it's there.
I mean,
he just needed just that little extra 10 mana to reach it.
He's in some trouble, though. If he catches the stun,
he's going to get the dagger hit as well. But Silence, Destiny tries to create a little bit of space. He's got to tank the Edict. He's getting himself in there, so Stinger doesn't have any more damage, but ASD will fall. K1 did manage to claim that kill.
Top, though.
Yep. Light Strike Array connects. I think she's got the detection. Whisper, toss him on down. Pull him away. Sentry War gets planned down by Jericho instead, and these Fatal Bonds keep trying to go to work. Whisper wants to turn. Actually dodges the Light Strike Array but now in July, able to get the stun. He tosses him back up and away. Firefly's so low, he'll go down. Whisper will live. Man, this guy's got balls playing around the trees.
Stones, you might say.
Yeah. Rock hard.
All right, TA got treads. Probably look to do these ancient students. Stop snickering, Toby. It wasn't that funny. Jeez. Hey, it was. It was. It was good. It was good.
I wasn't laughing that loud, man.
I could hear you. The whole world can hear you.
That's
I'm sorry. It's late at night. I gotta say, I am struggling right now. No excuses though. Rich can work all day. I can do it.
Just get stronger, Kyle. Get stronger. You'd push through if you're a player.
That's true. Well, I like to think that, but here I sit. Game stabilized.
Welcome to the retirement bench. You know the really scary thing is, Kyle, in 10 years' time, you'll be like me saying you were a professional player one day.
We'll see. If you check out the core matchups, though, it's really cool. Every player is no more than 200 gold ahead of their counterpart in the respective roles. So an incredibly even game, which arguably favor Anvorgesa, but it's going to depend on how they react to this right here. First rotation.
Well, Fatal bonds him up, but that means Jericho once again is going to be the consolation prize for Sirius. Oh, wait, maybe not. No one had a stun.
And this is the
Meanwhile,
problem.
up on top, Tiny now isolated. Light Striker Ray gonna just hold Whisper in position. Ninja Lion gonna try and play around inside of his own Sandstorm, but actually support's coming over to help Whisper in the form of Leshrac, and they've been very, well, funky with the way they take this off lane.
And they're actually going in here. This
Yeah.
is not the play, I don't believe. The Veil already active. Holy crap. That's a fast Veil in the Sand King. 9 minutes in. Mid tower's died though, and that's the key to this TA versus Lycan matchup. You don't want to give him a chance to get that Blink Deso, start taking over the map. Get the HOD, and every time ult's up, Sylar's going to look to rotate, make a kill happen, and then take tower immediately afterwards.
Spectre's trying to get the counter.
Yeah.
Like she's pushing the bottom tier 1 tower, but it's still a Spectre at the end of the day.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Can't force down the lane, going like straight in for Radiance. Edict damage from Stinger. Destiny can leave the lane, that's fine. That means they'll claim the tier 1 tower. And this is where like the support 3 points Leshrac really starts paying off. Like you can actually add a lot of pressure through this. And they want to add more. Whisper's looking towards the mid. That Observer was actually been up for a while.
Yeah, I love the Lesh for this reason. You know, I've just waxed poetic about this hero many times, but
They're
you
jumping.
just do so much with so little.
Up towards Chris, Sentry Ward being planted down. Not want to have him hiding inside the bell, but they're right in range of the TV support. Laguna Blade doesn't do anywhere near enough damage. The Feather Bonds connects with the stack, hilariously enough.
Is under attack.
As ASD's copying a decent chunk of damage, but he'll be back to safety.
A lot of space for Sylar, though. He's going to get both bounties and a regen rune. Now going to look to press bottom with his creeps and the wolves. Catapult Wave is up as well. Spectre will try to defend this bottom tower, but it's very difficult to do so by himself. Top lane, they might go for Whisper again. No ultimate, but they have the Veil and a ton of stuns.
Yep, Pyro Strike him. But no Laguna Blade. The epicenter will be how they find the magical damage. Toss him away. And into the trees once again. Whisper just loves playing around this. He's going to survive once more. This time the Dragon Slave will not reach him.
Dude, he is so tanky. He has 20 armor around that tower. 20. 10 from the ultimate. Whoa! I did not realize that that was buffed so significantly. Early point went from 7 to 10. Wow. That explains why you see this hero picked up all the time by Anvorgesa. This is like the dream for Whisper. He is super beast at the moment. Look at ASD looking to hunt. They want to play around the Lycan. Look at the warding. They want to be aggressive in the enemy jungle.
But Anvorgesa are looking for exactly the same thing. Like they're smoked up and heading down towards the bot lane. Warlock and Tiny, they're not finding exactly what they want just yet. Sylar shows himself, but the mid is where they got the well, I won't say it's the easier target. They need stun locks and ASD and smoke breaks, and a ball lightning to the safe side of the river.
Yeah, and clock is ticking. And Spectre closing in on that relic, all more than halfway there.
Whisper. Toss away the Hellbear.
Yep.
Don't want it.
This is the thing, if you're playing without the Sand King of In July, there isn't much point and click stun. So you can play around your Lycan, sure, but you're very hesitant as ASD to go too deep. You know, we've seen a lot so far in this tournament. Storm's being punished for trying to get too involved when they could have just been farming woods as he is here.
I love how they've already afforded an ATOS on Leshrac. Great control up against the Lycan, and
Oh, yeah.
and he's someone that really needs to be able to just easily run. So Stinger probably going to be tasked heavily with just nailing the Lycan with stun and ATOS.
And not just that, it's survivability as well. You get a lot of nice HP, 10 strength in addition. You can just stay near him with that Pulse Nova ticking. And long fights should favor Anvorgesa. Their AoE is nuts once they get to a certain point in this game. I do believe Sirius need to increase their tempo a bit.
Well, they're pushing the bottom tier 2 tower. Sylar's there to do it.
Smoke up.
Silencer's behind, but yep, with the TPs coming forward, Sylar, Rod of Atos, finally reveals Stinger needs to hit the stun, unable to do so. Now Sylar's ready to
what a
fight. In
toss
fact, now Destiny underneath the tier 2 tower, not where he wanted to be, but neither where Jericho wanted to be. He wanted to drop the rock. He's TPing in. He'll have to drop this rock instantly onto Sylar and ASD, who is just far enough away. They've already killed the Leshrac. Veil Bonds will connect him. The rock, it only clips one, but with the Spectral Horn, they jump forward. It's Firefly. They're only going to get this one little support. I say little, still level 8.
You don't mind that, though. That was the Blink reveal as well on Chris Lug. That's why he was able to get on top of the Luna there so
Whisper
quickly.
hits the avalanche. Toss, toss, toss. He's got to keep him there. Can't let him jump up or down. They keep the control perfectly chained, and Storm can't even ball lightning away.
That was a huge fight. Huge fight. Love the buyback from Jericho there. They needed to get an engagement. You don't want Sirius to just pick you apart. he would have been able to. They would have been able to dive the Tiny and then possibly even take the tier 2. If you can continue to keep this game relatively even, get it going later, at some point you'll have the Blink Tiny, and you can see the initiation from Whisper is great. He's just hiding in the trees, tosses the silencer back, so it doesn't give Sirius that perfect fight they were hoping for. And you can see right now, if there's no buyback, I think Tiny's just dead. But now you've got a ton of time. You've still got that Spectre rushing Radiance. Almost at the Relic. It is getting scary for Sirius. They need to increase their timing here. They finally have the blink on Sand King so he can look to get involved. I don't believe he was there in that fight.
Jericho would have actually had like he would have actually just won the fight straight up if he wasn't on top of the Dire Observer Ward that was just sitting there. And that's why Silencer knew the exact timing. Like, still Global Silence used, and it takes a second for Anvorgesa to get that follow-up if Sirius see it coming. If they don't, as we just saw, like Storm doesn't see it coming, they can get that chain control. Then they go into the push, so Stinger claims yet another tower.
I love it. I think that that's such a key hero in this game because it's equalized the tower pressure with just this one support pick.
They're going to reveal Rod of Atos. Stinger jumps in through the rear. They're able to get the chain stuns, and man, they hit hard. Silence is already down.
That's great. So much damage output as well, and it's just great. Just one support pick.
Sirius are coming.
It's the reason this mid tower's dead.
They want the jump over on Stinger.
They've got a blink. Oh, this is scary. They don't know he's here in July with the blink reveal.
Careful, Fed Bonds now Epicenter. Oh, they got the Rod of Atos. He's stuck up on the hillside. The Burrow Strike back up again, but TA tanked through most of it with the refraction charges. Stinger will still go down, but he's out this game pretty low anyway.
Keep pursuing, perhaps. Lena in a lot of trouble. Is going to try and TP out.
Whisper's also a good target. Lena is able to get away to safety, but Sylar now feeling very much alone, wants to retreat. He's out of shapeshift form, and Whisper's going to jump. He needs a toss back target. He's waiting for TA to get in range, but there's too many creeps. Now Storm Spirit will jump in. Whisper has to get the avalanche off. Will at least get the chain stuns, but he's got nothing more to give. Invis, Chris Luck, he just hides inside the meld, hits ASD very hard, and was very willing to hit him straight back again.
They did have sentries, but did not want to place them after he blinked away. Nice fight from Sirius, but keep in mind, there's no Spectre. He was not participating, now finishing the Relic, and they did not get the tower. Did not put in deny range either, however, so you're still okay really for both sides. But that Deso timing on TA, you combine that with the Radiance, I actually don't think Sirius have a method of winning fights as long as Anvorgesa do not make big mistakes. You can see the Lycan versus the Warlock. There's nothing you can do with Stinger.
They're on a D-warning mission.
Or Jericho.
I'm seeing 2 sentries on the Silencer. They walk straight past one of the obs.
They've got to know, yeah, I was about to say.
They're picking the hill.
He's like, I got a toast from the low ground, guys. There's a problem here. That would have been an insane fight. He had a 3-man stun epi lined up, but alas, the Atos coming out. And it was really just tanked by the TA refraction. What?
What?
All right. That's
well, look at that indeed. Can we look at that? Have we got a replay back in time? Storm getting soloed up, sure.
I love that he didn't finish the drums. Just go with the Windlace and the Crown to ensure he gets that blink timing a bit faster. It means that when they have this timing of the Radiance, which is coming up in just 400 gold in the Spectre, like I actually think Anvorgesa cannot lose this game. They just need one good fight. One good fight.
That's a lot of confidence in one team, but if you have that much confidence, I think Sirius are going to win.
Not true. It's just that you have Silencer, Lena, and Sand King. All of them get owned by Spectre Radiance, and they have no survivability anymore. They just get jumped on top of, and you can't really target him as Sirius because there's so much AoE and counter initiation potential available for Anvorgesa. They need to take a fight now and get tower, maybe Roche, but a tier 3 I think is necessary for them to get into this game.
Well, the army has arrived in mid for Lycan. The Desolator is now going to come back on the Curious. Not there yet. The Burrow Strike's already started off this fight within July. Warlock instantly deleted.
They do get the Lycan ult pop, though. If they can get out of here, it's still
They're
okay.
trying to. They're back onto the tier 2 tower. Whisper's a little too far away. The blink will happen. TA won't be so lucky. The creeps won't find her in the trees. Not yet, at least, but the Desolator has been delivered. And July gets the Burrow Strike with the Radiance up. Now is the time to special haunt yourself into this engagement. Laguna Blade tanked up by refraction, but TA's already dead so fast. Firefly, he's back into the trees. The tree toss forward, combined with the spectral haunt. He will get the kill from just the Radiance burn. There's a full retreat from the rest of Sirius, moving further towards north. And it's Whisper who's the man who's on the hunt. He's got one Wolf of Sylar right behind him, but he won't catch in July just yet. They have no information, they have no vision, they don't know where Sirius are running back from.
That was with, like, they just dove, right? They weren't really prepared on Anvorgesa, and still the gold lead doesn't change. There's no objectives taken. That's the concern. Oh, ASD?
That's a nice little jump in. Avalanche, toss, and all of that on the back of the arcane rune. Oh wait, no, they actually got picked up by ST. So
It's just,
he's good.
I've always loved Storm Silencer as a combination because you get the guaranteed initiation, right? No hero has more reach than Storm, and you pop the ultimate and nobody can cast spells. But really, the game's at least equalized now, and at some point you have Manta on Spectre, and then all of a sudden he's just nigh indestructible. It just feels really good if you're an Anvorgesa fan, even though there's 2K down. Sirius have not gotten this first Roche. Now all of a sudden Anvorgesa, they've like, hey, we've got
They wanna go in.
They have no Silencer ult. Let's do this.
Yep. No Spectral Haunt, however, for Anvorgesa, so like, that's one of those issues, but you have Desolator, but Sirius will smoke up. They want to try and contest this. Storm Spirit's a little bit too far away, but they look to just take the fight in mid, and then another pickoff. The Rock will drop down. Whispers in the back lines looking towards Firefight. Better Bonds did come off at the end of the day, but it's just too much. Anvorgesa, they are just totally split up. The Tiny is isolated in the mid lane. 3 euros to take him out. Almost everybody dead. When Whisper dies, everybody is dead. 5 heroes down, and now Sirius, who cares about Roshan? They're going to push mid.
Well,
They should still care about Roshan.
there's a couple members of chat that are going to get very active real soon. But I would like to state for the record that even though they were in a position where I felt very favored in this game, it does not mean you can just plant your Spectre on the high ground to break the smoke and trust that, I don't know, he won't die. I mean,
Yeah,
it was easy for Sirius. There's an Aether Lens on Firefly's Lina. There's so much burst potential.
He's not the Wraith King that they've normally
No,
been
he's
running.
only got the one life.
Now, let's watch it again. So Spec dies quickly.
he's
Jericho
just
gets
dead.
the Rock down.
But it doesn't matter. And look at the backline. Like,
Yeah.
Chris.
My God, they just ripped through.
Yeah,
Like-
of course they did.
Jericho and Stinger I think they almost died from just ball lightning across the top of their faces.
Yep. And the thing is,
Well, they're coming back for Roshan. They've already dropped the Rock. 2 heroes smoked up in the back lines. I think Anvorgesa, like, they know they need Roshan. They
Yeah.
have to finish
but they
this
didn't.
up.
They really just needed to stop Sirius from doing it. And sure, they might get it now, but Sirius will 100% take the 8K gold lead they've taken off of that fight and those bounty runes. They are happy with this trade. And it's important to note, one of the reasons Lycan's so good against Spectre is because you negate the effect of dispersion. It's spreading the damage around all units around you. And there's so many units, thanks to the Necro book, thanks to the HOD. He's no ult on Sylar, he's in trouble.
Yeah, they're jumping up with a toss. They can't get him back, however. Burst Strike from in July. Silencer is there. Global Silence popped out, but the damage from the TA is really huge. He's already able to get that kill onto Silencer, but here comes ASD running forward over towards Stinger. He doesn't know which target he really wants to go on, so he's just leading them off to the side. It's a double buyback in from Anvorgesa. They really need to keep this fight going. Stinger will finally go down, surrounded by the units of Lycan, while Lycan's making a beeline. That's one fiery dog. The TA trap saw him, but they got no stun. They cannot cancel the TP out of Sylar.
Is under attack.
Whisper bought back, but he had no TP to get back to the fight, Toby. It's super punishing, as did Jericho.
Oh, look at Sirius. They know.
Sirius.
They know.
Oh,
Tip him to
fanning the flames.
Tip him to tilt him.
That hurts. That really hurts. Because the thing about the Sirius lineup was that if they, it's punishing, right? It's the mistake. We talked about it. You felt like Anvorgesa, they make one mistake, and their base starts to die. Like, they lose map control, and now you're in a position where Sirius are going to have this massive fight advantage. Even into the Aegis, it doesn't matter, because TA, if he gets jumped on and ran up by the Lycan, what's the counterplay? They don't have the damage output at the moment. And you got a pipe now on In July in just a moment. The team fight is scary. Bloodstone on Storm. God, I felt like they had it too. I really did.
No, it feels very similar to game one. Man, this momentum's looking really great. All you need to do is push with it. But it felt stronger then. The fact that Sylar's able to have such a great game, the level 3 Necro books up nice and early. They're always adding the pressure. Like, that feels nice. And Anvorgesa, like, they're just pushing the issue a little too hard. Well, Sirius are up to the challenge.
Yeah, it's this Lycan, man. I'm telling you, you don't realize how strong the hero is until you've lost that first fight. The problem is that once you lose the first fight, it's a lot easier to start losing the ones afterwards. And now Sirius, you can see confident, even into the Aegis. They've got the pipe. They've got such crazy damage output at the moment. They are peaking. You got a Glimmer Cape even on Firefly. Love that decision. Helps them survive against the TA.
They're smoking up. You know that Observer Ward on the hill is going to get dewatered in just a second once they feel confident enough, Sirius, to move closer.
Bottom Whisper, he's no buyback.
Oh boy, yeah, that Tiny's in a lot of trouble. ASC's just jumping on him. There's a smoke gank. They're trying to cancel and either TP's back out again. And who have they found? They've actually got one big hit, and it's the Lycan, but Sylar, that movement speed, the Burrow Strike! 3 men from In July, catches him, keeping him away. He'll sacrifice himself for the greater Lycan. You're okay with that if you're Sirius. Still a 1-for-1 trade-off, not exactly what you wanted, but to keep the Lycan alive, you'll take it.
And remember, they're not out of this by any means. Like, Spectre is still the hardest carry in this game. You don't have too many answers for Storm. I think that's a big problem. And ASD, I think a budding superstar in the making. He's played so well all events. A big part of the E-Home's success earlier in the season as well, before he was kicked. Or, sorry,
Shuffled.
left the team. I guess it depends on which PR you're buying into. But either way,
Sorry, I only have my fake news tabloids.
yeah.
This
Like, StarLadder's going to be more about the buildings and shredding through the back line, but the Storm in combination with the Silencer, not to mention, man, the Tianming, the Firefly Lina, 5th in net worth, above his off-lane SK, and he's just doing so much damage in the back
They're
lines.
going again. Underneath the Dire Observer wards, they're both on either sides of that Radiant Orbs, which is probably what's giving Anvorgesa that confidence to be where they are.
Yeah. And that's the danger. Once Whisper...
Oh, wow, they actually... Chris? Okay. Luckily for him, Storm went the opposite direction, but he gets the grab
Again.
over on the Tiny. Last Striker Ray will connect, combining with the Laguna Blade. They have enough damage to pop through him. Man, this Silencer must getting real smart right now as Sylar. He's diving into the base, right on top of Jericho. 3 heroes down. And Jericho for 70 seconds. These buybacks from before are really going to start to hurt them with the death timers.
Oh, yeah. And not just that Whisper, man. He was having such a great game. Once he buys back, dies bottom, where's the initiation now from Anvorgesa? It feels like the Tiny Lesh, you know, these heroes are great when they're in an even game, but now that they've fallen behind, you can see they just feel like fodder for the Sirius lineup, who have immediate jump potential thanks to the Storm, and then there's a Lina follow-up. You can see the Laguna doing tons of DPS from the sides, and yeah, that's...
It's a very up and down style game, but he's staying just above the average. But you need to be above average if he's going to carry.
Yeah, I love the itemization too. Sirius, you can see he's actually going for a mech into another pair of boots on Firefly, just trying to increase the survivability of his team because they recognize, look, we live through the haunt. We don't feed immediately to this TA's burst damage, and Sirius, you're going to take this game no problem just because of the sustained damage output that they possess.
Now that you've said that, all right, Anvorgesa, it is your time to come back.
I'm doing what I can for him, Toby.
I always put Kyle as my lucky charm because he's always able to give us games that swing one way, then swing back the other. Once he's made up his decision in July, going to go for the epicenter, looking for a solo kill, combining with the global silence. There's just no answer, and with a Laguna Blade from range, K1 gets exploded, but the buyback Spectral Horn is a good fatal bomb. Combining with the rock, they're going to get the kill over on Lycan. Stormsbury got hit very hard, but Lycan, he's almost out. No!
Whisper!
It's that damage from the long range. Whisper gets the catch on ASD. Thank you, Kyle! We have 2 heroes down for 70 seconds. This is go time. This is push down mid. They could do so much base damage because everyone's alive.
What can I say, Toby? I'm just here to make it entertaining for the fans. What a play by Anvorgesa, this typical play. I was talking with Loda about this earlier. He's like, sometimes he's playing Spectre back when he was a player, you know, 5-6 years ago. He would say, guys, I have buyback, let's go. You've got your Radiance up, you let yourself die, and then boom, you've haunted back into the engagement. Unfortunately, the creep wave was so far behind, they might not be able to push the tier 3, but there's no buyback on either of these 2 heroes. They're going to go. This is a rack.
They can push tier 3 tower. You don't hold back.
No
You got
glyph?
Edict because there's no glyph, there's no fortification. So Sirius, they are in full defense mode. You got a Sandstorm from in July. No buybacks being used, but obviously we know this. Anvorgesa may not know this because it's a money thing, it's not a timing thing.
Not just that, but you're so afraid of these buybacks, right? Storm specifically, but a Lycan with ultimate and Necrobook active, yeah, that's terrifying as well. But you can see, these fights will go on for cases, but they just need to get their spells off. But the problem is that Sirius, thanks to the Storm Silencer combo, you land a stun out of anything, you're going to have follow-up for sure, and the burst damage will kill that initial target just thanks to the ultimate of the Silencer. And Spectre now has the Manta, the Heart, though, that's the big picture. If he can pick up that item, it'll change the status quo, but for now, Sirius moving forward. They've got their spells. They want to fight on the enemy side of the map so they can go towers after.
There is no rock, there's no Spectral Horn, but they also don't have any vision. The Observer Wards have timed out, so they need to redo this. As K1, he is so close to death. Radiant Scan, it pings correctly, and K1 in July going in for the epicenter. They don't even need it, they've already got the kill. The backlines, Firefly as well as Destiny. They come so much damage thanks to the damage from Chris.
Oh, the Stars
no
are trouble.
buyback. Now they get the kill. Can Soulspirit be locked in position? ASD is burning to the Pulse Nova. In July, also having to retreat back out. Tiny will die in the tree lines. Sylar has managed to track him down with his menagerie. The two heroes left up for Anvorgesa, and Chris is one of them. The Burrow Strike in July. He really did begin this, and now he wants to help end it. Chris gets mowed down. A TA cannot fight a Lycan with this many units. She dies so quickly, and now Sirius will push the buybacks out of Anvorgesa.
Oh my god, it's so unfortunate. They found the one person that Anvorgesa couldn't allow to go down first, the Spectre, and it was the same combination. A stun. What, he canceled TP?
He tried to BT onto a creep that was tied to the TA trap. So he ends up having to just walk out the bottom lane.
They're pushing this through buyback. Great job by the TA to ensure. Now if they can get the Crimson off in the building, I think they'll be able to save it. Yep, what a play. Stinger actually, I think he sold items because he has Boots, Atos, Crimson, and it might be enough to keep this Rax alive.
Yeah, they're being pushed back. Rod of Atos already been triggered. That's going to force ASD to engage in. You don't actually, you have Rock available, but he doesn't use it. They're just trying to sacrifice the support. The Rax was already going to live anyway, but we'll sacrifice the support anyway, you know, just for good luck.
Yep, Roche up in 50 seconds, so it's actually perfect timing. You're going to have all your spells and heroes alive for that engagement. They will lose top Shrine and trade, and Lycan's going to be able to finish a BKB. Storm, the big problem though, like I said, the Orchid finished level 22. It's just so tough, and there's nothing to deal with this combination. A stun, a zip, silencer.
Oh, there's your jump forward. Jericho was on a mission from God. Just trying to get rid of that Observer on the hill. It's going to get de-watered, and Whisper too far out as well. Under his tier 2 tower, at least get a good avalanche, but here comes that TP onto the range creep. SK this time, one will be able to be completed. That's a long time dead for the Tiny because he bought out on the Echo Saber. He looked for that extra damage, and now another 4 bounty runes will go the way of Sirius.
They're just picking them apart across the map. It's so tough to play. And the Storm giving them such a huge advantage in the jump potential. Roche is spawned. Haystrin picked up on the Storm as well.
Sa's just so big. He's going to finish a BKB as well. Like, this is like, my God. So much power from Lycan.
That's the structure damage. We said this was what was missing in their previous game today against Alliance, right? Was it Alliance? It was NIP. It was Alliance.
Yeah,
it was Alliance.
It was Alliance who was liking the damage.
And he had Sylar was on a Razor to close that out. This is not his style. I like when he's on a hero. Like, he's 11-1 and 18, 29 out of 32 kills. Do you know how difficult that is on a Lycan? I've played with people who play Lycan. All right, they kill creeps, not heroes. But he has this just excellent read on the map, how to control it, where to rotate to ensure that he finds not only kills but towers as well. And now they've got the Aegis on Storm.
Yeah, they've got Aegis on Storm. We've got Greaves also completed over on Lina. So extra sustain. That Observer was down. It's like, I don't want it. I don't want it. If I go for it, I'm dead.
How far back they have to play. They're just going to zip.
Sending the illusions of Spectre up to take care of it instead. As TA, the quick jump. Padfoot's on the mission. Looking for that Templar Assassin to bring it down, but the Rax, it just melts. Sirius too strong.
Just nothing you can do. You can see how defensive they have to play. They don't have initiation. Tiny's game is no longer a thing. Thus, their only real recourse is to hide behind the tier 4s, offer a Rax in exchange, but they're just going to wait for their spells, kill the Shrine, and once Sylar has his ult up again, they're just going to rinse, repeat, and Jericho has to effectively hide in the base if he wants to try and survive the initial onslaught of the Storm.
Yeah, go to the tier 4s.
Yeah.
But if you're that far back, Storm's going to jump you once he gets information. But that's why having that Observer Ward down for Sirius when they went for the mid lane, it's like, you could see the fear from Radiant. Like, you just cannot go for that. That's a very short TP in July.
Yeah. And Firefly, not my MVP, I guess, but I just love the way he's itemized. I think that he just had to be tanky. TA no longer can really kill anybody.
Oh, Tiny,
Whisper.
don't do it. Tiny, don't do it. Whisper's in so much trouble over in the tree line. ASD will stay on him. They know he's dead. And it's 70 seconds without him. You just want to push the wave one more time, but that's one more time too many.
Yeah. It's been a great tournament from Whisper, though. Underperforming in this game, but definitely a lot of potential. I hope the team doesn't get too discouraged if they do end up losing this game, because they have shown, I mean, upsetting eHome, the favorites of the tournament, there's no way anyone saw that coming.
Oh, yeah. But to take out both of the Chinese teams, that would have been a little bit more of a of an ask for them. And right now, it looks like Sirius is trying to close it. Storm Spirit, long jump into the back lines, under the cover of the Global Silence. Firefly just helps Laguna Blade him down. TA will have to instantly buy back into the game. Jericho, he's managed to bait this out for a while, but all he gets in the Fatal Bonds is Sylar, who's almost finished the job on the racks, but he has now. The TA trap will trigger, and Firefly, man, this guy is just a Yamato cannon. The Rock, it's good, but there's no Fatal Bonds follow-up, and even with the Vortex, TA can't do any kind of the damage. Chris is just trapped in this non-movement speed slow, and he'll end up going down. Sylar consumes the cheese in July, just putting the epicenter on top. BKB will protect Chris, but not from the physical damage. This game is over. It's really GG. Everyone will go down, and that is the call. Sirius will 2-0 out Anvorgesa, but man, the Peruvians really put up a fight, and the fact they even got to this position is a testament to them.
Indeed, and Sirius just too strong. The draft in their comfort zone, I really think it just comes down to that one fight around Roche. You know, 5-0, yeah, you end up getting the Aegis, but when you give a team with the ability to slay your structures this effectively, plus that massive initiation advantage, that lead, it's just not possible to come back because you can't outfight them, you can't outfarm them, and there's just no way to maintain a positioning on the map. It's it's painful to watch.
It is. They had some moments they could have potentially pushed through, but that's also some amazing land experience for Anvorgesa. Like, that is, you push to a high level, you win against a lot of top teams, but at the end of the day, it's still 4th position. Like, that's still better than anyone, and they actually said, like, we had no expectations for this, so 4th is already a hell of a lot better.
And they still have one of the best logos in esports, so should hold their heads high.
It is very meme, golden meme. I love
Sirius, they will now move on to play NIP for that final spot in the major, and of course a berth in the grand final with 120K on the line.
Yeah, well, they got a big opponent as well in that lower bracket, and of course they can reach that grand final up against NIP, or sorry, Alliance. Go the other way around. This is another way. Some fantastic Dota, which is definitely coming to you tomorrow. But, Sirius, let's hope they play at that level of execution tomorrow, and we should have some really quality
their potential,
day of Dota.
Their potential is excellent. You know, you've got Sylar, one of the oldest, most experienced and talented carries in the world, in Chinese history, really. And then ASD, one of the budding stars. I think that that's an important part of pretty much every Western team that's won TI. I mean, really, yeah, even Wings to an extent could be considered having some new talent. But point is, they built around this new guy, this young blood that is honestly, it's also a young guy, right? What was Sumel, like 16? I think Miracle was like 19. Point is, this guy's good. In July, also showing his stuff, and the support duo as well, really just kind of feeling out each other, complementing each other quite nicely.
Yeah, it's that combination that China always get right. It's that nice blend of experience with some raw, fresh talent. I think Puppy was one of the big ones who came out recently and said, like, you need to have that new blood, you need to be unpredictable, you need to have like that fresh flavor to you that's hard to read, but gives you diversity and strength in your roster. So just a highly mechanical player that can leech off this experience of the other players. And they got a lot of experience in them. I cannot wait to watch them tomorrow, but that's for tomorrow.
Observing something where I felt like I would actually push the whole craft forwards. I could give people something that they would enjoy.